afternoon and welcome back to another video. How are we all doing? All good, I hope? So in today's video we're going to talk about cheap Chinese upgrades. There's a few websites out there at the moment. You got the likes of Temu and Wish, and they all seem to offer a range of really cheap modifications for bikes like mine, the Surron LBX. Now there's loads of companies in the UK that you can buy parts from a range of different prices, but what I wanted to see is how good some of these really cheap products are. So I've made the purchase so that you don't have to. I've got about 5 or 6 different things that I bought. I've already installed them on the bike. So this video I'm just going to go through what I bought, how much I paid for them, and whether they're actually worth the money that I paid. So starting off with my first purchase, it's something that everyone does when they get a Surron, and that's one of the first upgrades that people tend to get, and that's the foot pegs. Now the foot pegs that come on the Surron are pretty dire. There's not a lot of grip to them, they're really small. If you're jumping the bike, they really hurt your feet, and yeah, they're not particularly great. So one of the first upgrades people tend to do is changing those foot pegs. If you've seen any of my videos, you'll know that I've had the pedal kit on here for some time. I've now taken that pedal kit off, so I was in desperate need of a peg upgrade. So I purchased some through Temu. They looked exactly like any of the other ones that you would buy for any of the other Surron parts websites. They had really good reviews. What you can read into those reviews is up to you. I don't know if they're made up or not, but I basically paid £19. So that's probably half the price of most other foot pegs that are out there and are available. So for 19 quid I thought I'll give them a go, see what they're like. If they're crap, then it's only cost me 19 quid. So first impressions out of the box, they looked really nice. They look like quite a good grade of metal. They look super durable. The spikes that came on them look really good. They're all individual, so they're not actually bolted to. You can change the studs over if you wanted to, which is quite a nice feature. Whether you ever would or not, I don't know, but it's a nice option to have. Fitting them on the bike was super easy. Probably took me about 20 seconds per peg. So yeah, really easy to install. They look great, and I was really pleasantly surprised with the quality of them. So yeah, I would say for this particular purchase, well worth it. Absolutely made up. For that price you cannot complain, so that's definitely a winner. The next thing I purchased, again from the app Temu, was a stem for the handlebars. The stock one's okay, looks pretty boring. At some point I am going to replace it for a direct mount, but I saw this anodized purple stem on Temu for the price of £13. I checked all the sizes, make sure it's going to fit the handlebars and fit the stem on the bike. It all checked out, so yeah, went ahead and made the purchase. For £13, I really was not expecting much of this. But when it arrived, again, it looked really good quality. It looks really smart. It comes with all the bolts as well that match in with the stem. The material looks really good quality. It fitted absolutely perfectly. Installation was exactly the same as the old stem. Super easy, probably again only took me about 4 or 5 minutes to install it. It's much thicker metal, it's much wider, it looks a lot sturdier. So again, a massive 10 out of 10. I'm really impressed with that purchase. So whilst we're talking about the front of the bike and the mods that I bought, the next thing was the light. Now the light that comes on the Surron is actually really good. It's super bright. It serves every purpose that you need. But you do see a lot of people with Surrons upgrading it to the bar light, and there are some awesome ones out there. A couple of the guys that I ride with have got some that are so bright, they are unbelievable. But searching around online, you are really looking sort of £40 upwards for a really nice bright one. So again, on Temu, I found this one for £4. Now this one for 4 quid, I really wasn't expecting a lot. To be honest with you, I was surprised that it even turned on. You have to wire it yourself onto the bike, which is not an issue. It's just a case of cutting the old cables, putting connectors on the end and plugging in. Again, installation probably took me 10 12 minutes, something like that. I would say for looks, you're talking 10 out of 10 again. It looks exactly the same as all the expensive ones that you see online. The one thing I'd mark it down for is it is not particularly bright, and it's certainly not as bright as the stock one that comes with the Surron. That is a bit of an issue, especially as we're now coming into the winter months. Like here you can see we're getting into the evening time, it is getting dark. It would be nice, you know, a little bit later on to have a really nice bright light. So yeah, I'd probably mark it about a 3 to 4 out of 10, to be honest with you. It's not great. I have got a plan with the stock one. What I might do is just set up another connector and basically have it on some quick connections that when I need it, I can just screw it up underneath where the mudguard sits. So if I am going out on a night ride, really quickly just to screw it back in, plug it into some connectors that I'll pre-make on the bike. At least then when I'm out riding at night, I've got the option, I'll have 2 lights on there. It should be super bright then. So yeah, of all the purchases, probably the worst one that I've made, to be honest with you. But for £4, it is what it is. So staying at the front of the bike, I've got some new grips, Pro Taper grips. This is my first time out riding with them, and absolutely fine. They're a little bit plasticky compared to my old ones, but they definitely look 10 times nicer. And what's even better than the look of them was the price. I paid £3 for the pair of grips, and I'm pretty sure if you look online from all the UK websites, you're going to be paying £15 upwards. So for £3, absolute bargain. They look awesome. I went for the grey and the white. Obviously they do loads of other colours. You've got greens and reds and blues, but I thought the grey and white again would sort of match the theme of the bike, so that's quite nice. I like the fact that they got the raised bit on the edge here as well, so your hands are nice and planted to the grips. Installation was again so simple. The hardest bit was getting the old grips off. They were so well stuck on, I guess, from the factory. But where these are really nice and solid, it's quite easy just to get it over the end of the handlebar, and I literally just tapped them in with a rubber mallet. Probably not the correct way to install them, but they slid on absolutely fine. They fit perfectly. So yeah, absolutely over the moon with them. Really, really nice. I'd definitely say worth a purchase, 10 out of 10. So that's kind of it for sort of physical main mods that I bought. The next things were just a couple of optional little things that I wanted to do to the bike. I bought some vinyl wrap, and my intentions was to wrap the rear shock. Obviously it's a little bit of a nasty gold colour, it doesn't really go with anything, so I bought some purple carbon wrap to wrap around the rear shock. I thought that was going to be a really easy mod to do, but actually it's really hard to wrap something that's cylindrical and also really hard to get to on the bike. I'm sure if you could get the rear shock off, it'd be quite easy to do, but trying to do it in that tight little space between the mudguard was quite difficult. And I'm gutted as well because I really, really love this wrap. So I was looking around the bike just to see what else I could wrap, and I was looking at the rear chain guard. The only issue with this is it's a really awkward shape to wrap, but I thought I'd give it a go. Again, the wrap cost me I think about £2. So I thought if I messed it all up, it's not the end of the world, and I could just take it off and my chain guard just remains the same. But as it turned out, I'm really, really happy with the results. Yes, it was quite awkward, it was quite tricky to wrap, but with use of a heat gun and just taking your time, I actually think it came out all right. The only thing is now, I kind of want to wrap the whole bike in this. From a distance it looks black, and then obviously when you get a bit closer, you just see the colour change. And I actually think it would look sick if the whole bike was wrapped in that, but we'll see, maybe later down the line. It's definitely something that I probably wouldn't attempt myself. I'd try and get a company to do it. It was hard enough just wrapping the chain guard, let alone the whole bike. But yeah, let me know in the comments what you think of it. I think it looks really smart. I don't know if that's coming up on camera, but there is a huge cloud just coming in, and I can see the rain starting in the distance, so I'm probably going to head home. But yeah, with regards to the vinyl wrap, £2 was the price. Obviously I had intentions of putting it around the rear shock, but changed it to the chain guard. So the price, absolute 10 out of 10. You can't complain for £2. And then I guess it's really what you're deciding that you're going to wrap on, how hard it was to install. But I don't know, I'd probably give it, you know, sort of 5 out of 10. As long as you've got a bit of patience and a bit of time to do it, I think the results look really, really cool. So moving on to the last little bits, I bought some decals for the wheels. So if you see wheels like the SM Pros and stuff like that, on the rim they have this sort of decal that sort of goes around the edge. You can buy the SM Pro stickers. I'm not going to put them on my stock rims. Everyone's going to know that they are not SM Pros. But I saw these white decals and I thought they'd complement the white spoke covers that I've got on the wheels already. So I think I paid about 98p for this decal kit, and there's enough in there to probably do 2 bikes worth. But yeah, so far the quality seems really good, can't complain at that. Really easy to install. Again, they are just stickers. They shape the wheel quite nicely, and yeah, they just add a little bit more definition to the wheel. So the whole lot together I spent under 40 quid, and really you can't complain at that. There's quite a lot of mods there, and when you're shopping around you're probably looking in excess of about 120 quid for a lot of this stuff. So I'm really happy. Yes, you do take a massive gamble buying off some of these sites, but sometimes it just pays off.
Man, I still go, 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 yo, go, go, go. Hustle hard, hustle every single day. I'll be making moves till I'm buried in my grave. To the system, I don't wanna be a slave. I've been doing shit my way, or the highway, and in the driveway is a nice range.
So there we are then, guys, that's the end of today's video. Really happy with the bits I bought. It's worth the gamble, and most of the parts paid off, and for all of that for under 40 quid you can't really complain. If you've got any questions on the bits that you've seen in this video, then go ahead and drop them in the comments below. But as always, thank you so much for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, then go ahead and give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't done already, go ahead and hit subscribe. But yeah, cheers guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Take it easy.